Happy Sunday, May 17th, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your weekend so far. Today's episode, we went back to the PlayStation 1. What a fantastic console that was, and what great memories we all share from that generation. As usual, feel free to give us a thumbs up or not. And subscribing to our channel does help us grow and deliver more of this content. Before we go ahead, there are a bunch of interesting sales pretty much across all platforms. However, I thought I'd point it out real quick that if you are among the people who have not played GTA 5 yet, well, you can grab that for free. Yes, you heard me right. Free. All you need to do is have an Epic Store account and add the game to your library. That's right, you don't even need to download it right now. Just add it to your library and it will be yours forever. Well, you better hurry up though, because the promotion ends May 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 4 p.m. here in the UK. Alright, with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy this little bit of nostalgia. How's everyone? How are you, Rick? What's going on? How's your week been so far?
Good. Busy, weirdly. I feel like I'm now becoming more busy in lockdown than I ever have before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. But I shouldn't complain. It's a good thing.
That's good.
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. My hair are growing up like insanely fast that I actually need to cut them, but I can't. But also we are all in the same boat here, I guess, except for, Richelieu over there. But Claudio, how's your week been?
What can I say? My last week in the Netherlands until the return to Sardinia, the long-awaited return to the motherland. Yeah. So yeah. What can I say? Gaming-wise, it's not going to change much, except that there I have all of my old consoles, so yeah, I'm looking forward also to that.
Boom.
But yeah, incidental also my family, but those are details.
Minor details.
minor factors.
The cats.
But ciao mama, by the way, if she's watching.
And then we got our guest.
Yeah, above me we have Cardinal Richelieu, straight from 18th century France.
We had him last week. And we have him again. Yeah. We cannot hear him though. He's probably muted his microphone, I guess.
I think he's muted his microphone.
Yeah, sorry. I was farting a lot. I didn't want you to hear. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, it was my twin last week. You see it now. My twin has the beard, and now to differentiate with my twin, I had to cut it. My week was fine. Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is public holiday here in Spain.
Retro gaming, back to the PlayStation 1 era. And I'm actually curious, because I'm very fond of the game, to see what Rick has to say about the game he's been playing and has chosen for this week.
Do you know what? Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go really old and I'm gonna go really childish. Spyro the Dragon.
Man.
It's a joy. It's an absolute joy. But you know, like when you see it again for the first time, you're like, a bit like before we came on air, and it was like, is it that bad? Was it always that bad? Like, were the graphics always that rubbish? But I actually I thought it was so much fun because it's just one of them really nostalgic games. And I remember just putting in so many hours to Spyro the Dragon. And now, as I keep saying that I'm playing Spyro the Dragon, I feel like I'm really losing some credentials in life, really. I feel like I'm really slipping down the hill.
You know what? I actually played this game a lot myself, and I have not, but I will purchase the remake because they actually remade it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I just thought it was so I remember just thinking having so much fun, but as well I at the time when you're a kid you don't realise that certain things, and then playing it again recently, I realised that every dragon that you rescue is pretty much just the same voice actor, just slightly different tone. Like,
tight on budget, Rick.
Yeah, they really weren't messing. But yeah, I really love this. I really did love this game, and just that you travel to all the different worlds, and I think it had that nice little thing playing it again, where you do get to see like all these little like nods to like adults playing it potentially, like little in jokes that you miss as a kid, which I really love about going back to old games.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
Yeah, but I think I might purchase the remastered as well.
I think that we are missing an important one that compares to Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which is Medieval.
Oh yeah,
Medieval, yes. Oh yeah.
Oh
That
my
one was-
God. Why did I not
Yeah.
think about Medieval? Oh,
Medieval was.
I really wish I thought of that. Oh,
well, you know,
Yeah,
guys, I haven't purchased it yet. But once again, just like for Spyro, there is a new remake of Medieval with this generation graphics. So that's on my radar. So I'm waiting for a good sale, basically.
I actually saw a good on it, but like I went to CEX. But it was a Portuguese version. It just randomly made it to the shelf, and I thought, can I? I don't know if this is going to work. So
Yeah.
I left it. But Medieval was such a good. I mean, we're meant to be talking about Spyro, but let's sack that off. So Daniel Fortescue, I'm all about that.
Daniel Fortescue.
Yeah, Daniel Fortescue.
Yeah.
So we have, by the way, guys, we have a bit of a comment. Let's see if I can add it. Here we go.
Spyro.
This is like the first comment. Are the enemies giant frogs? Do you really have to save dragons from frogs?
That was it, isn't it? Like, the
The person
graphics were
doesn't really
bad.
understand the magic of the game, this person, right?
Yes. Absolutely yes. Doesn't understand the magic of this game and how frogs can actually be dangerous as well.
Absolutely, yes.
It's a matter of fact, we do have frogs around nowadays and not dragons anymore. That's it.
True, yeah.
That says it all.
Well, if
Very
you
more
notice in this
evoluted.
game, if you notice in this game, the frogs have managed to wield shields and swords. So
Okay.
Yeah, no, but great game.
it was fun.
It always brings me back to kind of like memory lane.
Yeah, it was such like a little weirdly brilliant nostalgic game. But I suppose it was just like it was this or Crash Bandicoot, wasn't it? These were the games that I remember playing massively as a kid. Whilst all the cool kids were playing Resident Evil.
I'm also thinking, because I know then Claudio picked a completely different game. By the way, if I'm right, all the games that we talk about today, I used to play them all. And Rick, why did you pick Spyro over any other PlayStation 1 game? Was that like?
It was just when we mentioned PlayStation 1, I think I definitely had more PlayStation 1 games than probably any other console I've ever had, I think. But for some reason, I think it was that age-old thing where we had a PlayStation in the house, and it was kind of like mine and my sister's.
Yeah.
And it was a game where we could both sit and play it, rather than it be like, oh, okay, cool, like we're gonna play, I don't know, Soul Reaver or something, where like it wasn't a thing to do. So,
What a game.
do you remember Soul Reaver?
What a game. Legacy
Yeah.
of Kain.
Yeah. So, but I think it was that. But I think it just, for some reason, whenever I think of the PlayStation 1,
Yeah.
my mind is just drawn to like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, those kind of games. I don't know why. Like there were so many more, obviously, and more like darker games and things like that. But for some reason, it was just the first game that came into my head, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'll give it a go on Spyro.
So Claudio, why did you pick the game? Wait, what game did you pick, and why did you pick?
First of all, I picked the best fighting game for the PlayStation 1, which was Tekken 3.
Right.
Of course. Do I even need to elaborate on that? I mean, it's Tekken already, and Tekken 3 was the last Tekken to come out to be released for the original PlayStation. Now, I did buy the PlayStation for 2 games. I don't remember if I said this already in previous episodes, but 2 games. Wipeout 2097 to be correct, which is the second episode. Racing game, futuristic racing game. I'm gonna talk about that for sure in the future. And Tekken 2.
Yeah.
I was completely captured by Tekken 2. I used to go to an arcade probably not all of our listeners, of our 4 or 5 listeners, will remember, but there used to be this kind of places called arcades. You could go there with your coins, and you could play actual games there, right?
You could play all your parents' salary, pretty much. You could play.
Or correctly so, yeah. I used to think that I would have never played a game in an arcade as much as I did with Tekken 2, but then Tekken 3 came out, so I rocked this on that on the arcade version, and then when it came out for the PS1, I bought it, and what did I know? It was even better than Tekken 2. It was actually more realistic. So Tekken 2, if you have the chance to actually play it again, it didn't really age well. I'm not just speaking about graphic. I mean, even this one is clearly a PlayStation era graphic, 3D graphics. But the problem of Tekken 2 is that all the characters jump just way too high. I really recommend you to try this. And the movements are just not really fluid. Whereas in Tekken 3, it's the usual Tekken, so you do have characters like Yoshimitsu, Heihachi Mishima, so very not realistic ones. But I really felt that the fighting styles were so perfect. I really had the feeling that they were so different one from another. This is perhaps the thing I love the most of Tekken. You play with Eddie, by the way, great ad of this game, Eddie Gordo.
Yeah.
It is really fighting capoeira style. He really dances, you can see him, even if here, I defeated him with Yoshimitsu. And vice versa, Yoshimitsu plays these fights with this kind of ninjutsu style, so really different way of kicking, punching. I was always very annoyed that he does have a laser katana, and he barely uses it. Except for winning Harakiri himself, as I just did.
Yeah. But there was another very strong hit that was like he used to charge it and then take out like half of the energy of the opponent.
Exactly. I think I did use it during this playthrough. But yeah, that one took forever to be charged. But yeah, what can I say, guys? This game is seriously still holds on. I mean, I would say I did play it, of course, because I wanted to talk about it. And what did I know? I actually finished it with several characters. Because one thing that I so love that I still do are the little clips at the end. After you defeat the final boss, and this one was Ogre, or actually True Ogre.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Didn't finish it in the last 20 years. And then they were hilarious. All the endings were hilarious, actually. I loved them. By the way, I was so hardly trying to use the breath of Yoshimitsu here, but it doesn't kind of work.
So your favorite character was Yoshimitsu then, Claudio?
Well, I'm gonna say no. Actually, it was the one that I found the easiest to use. I do remember most of his. Yeah, I do remember by heart how to perform the harakiri, for instance. Still.
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds and then square, not 2 seconds back and then square, right?
It was it's a square circle down, actually.
Square circle down.
But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I just out of my heart I remember it like this. But
there you go.
There it is.
Exactly.
There it is.
Nice.
So Yoshimitsu used to be my character of choice, but eventually, because of this Tekken 3, they introduced this new character, Jin Kazama, who eventually became my favorite character.
Okay. Is Jin your favorite character? Interesting.
Jin is my favorite character, and I will even explain to you why. Because he has a crossover style. If you know a bit of the lore of Tekken, of the background story, so Jin is the son of Kazuya Mishima and Jun Kazama. Spoiler alert again, but it's a game of 20 years ago. and Jin fights with a bit of judo of Jun. So you have kind of 2 fighting styles in one character. For the records, I'm a totally non-martial artist person, so it's kind of funny, but I just love this stuff. I loved it as a child.
You know who was my favorite character, by the way, in Tekken 3? It was Hwoarang.
Oh,
yeah. Hwoarang was for beginners. It was very easy to use. Like.
Blah blah blah.
No.
Eddie was for beginners. It was very easy to use.
For beginners. I think so. you just pushed any buttons on it. He would have done amazing sequence of combos.
Exactly. Eddie was like the button masher. It was like
same as Hwoarang.
But
my favorite one was Dr. Boskonovich.
Dr. Boskonovich. Yeah.
Who the hell was Dr. Boskonovich? I don't remember.
It was a secret character. You could unlock him only very late into the game.
Exactly.
But it's funny because I always thought that every favorite character tells a lot about a person.
Right.
You do know that I have a certain idea of people who thought that Paul Phoenix was the best character. Yeah, in my head they were already like, cocky wannabe kind of people. You know perfectly who I'm talking about, by the way.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be a friend of someone who likes Paul.
So there we go. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. It's still a great game. Still, the graphic is what it is, but otherwise, I still think it holds up.
No, I agree. I actually think it's not even that bad in terms of graphics. Like, yes, you can tell it's a very old game at this point, but still.
Yeah, but I also think that for combat games like Tekken and like any other combat game, graphic itself, it's not that important.
No, of course.
I mean, it gives you a better feel, whatever, but it's not like, running into wonderful landscapes and, beauty. I mean, what it counts really is the gameplay, which in Tekken will do. And the rest, of course, if you have a better graphic, okay. Like, it's a nice to have, but it's not like fundamental like, in other games.
Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly, I agree. And Tekken was, by the way, I love Tekken because it was, I think when I got a PlayStation, which was definitely under Christmas, I think the first game I got was like Tekken. I think I got like Tekken and it was probably just Tekken, to be honest with you. Yeah. I actually have this memory of me and my sister playing Tekken on Christmas Day.
Like the first one, you mean?
No, Tekken 3. Tekken 3.
All right.
Yeah.
Tekken is the only series I think that I purchased every single episode of.
Really?
I recently bought Tekken 7 on Steam for my laptop.
Yeah.
It still holds strong. It has really a place in my heart.
Okay. I've tried Tekken 7 recently, but I have not. I honestly have not enjoyed. Question for Danny. The game you chose is very dear. Is a dear game to my heart. And I was about to choose it myself, and then I didn't. Why did you choose that game exactly?
I really think that Resident Evil 2 could be considered the game of the millennium.
Okay.
I honestly, of the past millennium, but yes, still, I mean, I remember Lore and you and I have known each other since a long time. I remember first time playing it at your place.
Yeah.
With your PlayStation 1 because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that
he's always been a freeloader. This one, by the way.
Yeah.
No, but really, I mean, Lore, I think that our friendship is due to Resident Evil 2. I mean, nothing else, honestly.
Very likely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't like you. I mean, you're a bad person, I know. But thanks to Resident Evil 2, we are friends. I mean, it's just because of that. And no, seriously.
Thanks to Resident Evil 2 and another game, but yeah, let's talk about it later.
Yeah, exactly. So I chose this one because I think that when I think of PlayStation 1 and that period, let's say, the first memories are playing this and really shitting our pants because of like zombies. Like, for example, this I think I still remember actually the dialogue of this. Yeah. But anyway,
I do remember this dialogue by heart as well.
Yeah, exactly. So,
hold your fire! I'm a human.
Exactly.
Sorry about that.
What's going on here? By the way, I mean, Resident Evil 2 really also, apart from the friendship with Lorenzo, I think I owe a lot of English lessons to.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
yeah, that's quite true.
No game Italian, and you had to learn English to see what was going on.
Yeah, because Rick, something might shock you here, but games back then weren't translated.
Right, I won the gaming lottery of life, being born.
Yeah. So then again, I mean, for us, I actually played it last year, like 1 year ago. I played the Resident Evil 2, like the original one, because then we played still with Lorenzo, the remake, which is great. But I played this one, and it's still, I mean, of course, like the fixed cameras and controls are a little bit weird, but it's still playable. I mean, I enjoyed it. Okay, of course, like you cannot expect I think there can be like a maximum of like 5 zombies per scenario, like per
Potentially,
team.
there was
Because so you don't see like a lot of people at the difficulty. Of course, it's more on it's tuned, let's say, on other parameters, not on the number of enemies. But the story is great. I mean, the characters are great. The story with Ada Wong.
Oh yeah. No spoilers though. No spoilers, please.
No. Right. And then was picked, let's say, for other series or for the whole series of Resident Evil. And really, it was a lot. By the way, I think I am one of the few of us, at least, that played Resident Evil 1 first and then Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, and I loved the 1 as well. I mean, I picked the 2 because I am more emotionally attached to it. Okay, but as a game, I think the 1 is also great. And then again, I mean, when we played with Lorenzo again, like last year in our home with our mothers, like when we were a child, we played the remake, and it was really like a tornado of emotion.
Yeah. We played it.
I remember this. Oh, look. I mean,
we played it last year during it was a holiday, by the way. But that's why we were both at our home.
Yeah, I suffered another quarantine for health reasons that are not coronavirus related last year.
Yeah.
So I was home, and I was just like, oh, you were visiting me in Sardinia. It's like, okay, why don't we play Resident Evil 2 Remake? And then I think we played it like in 3 days, 8 hours a day, something like that. I mean, it was just ridiculous, honestly. I mean, but yeah, it was great. Oh, that's Marvin. That's Marvin. I remember Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin. Yay for Marvin.
Actually, a key character in the remake. Do you
remember when we were playing this game as children? I remember late night gaming session.
Yeah,
late night was probably
late
night was probably 7 p.m. I don't know, but at some point one of us had to go to the bathroom, and I think we were home alone.
Don't tell that story. Lore, don't tell that story, please. Not in public. Not in public, please.
So anyway, one of us had to go to the
years trying to bury that story down in my mind.
So one of us had to go to the bathroom, and we were home alone, by the way, and I think
this story is getting better and better.
Here we go. So because we were so scared, the other child had to wait right outside of the bathroom singing.
Outside, yes, outside.
Yeah, right outside. It was outside. Yeah.
Thank you for telling that version.
PC version.
Singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember if it was for Resident Evil or for Silent Hill.
It was for both, probably.
For both, probably. For both, yeah. But yeah, we were scared.
So just not to get, so that the other one didn't get scared alone inside the toilet.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever unlock the secret characters in Resident Evil 2?
Hank and Tofu.
Yeah.
Oh, you're speaking about Hank and Tofu, Claudio.
Yeah. Let's bring this to the next level, because this is casual gaming. Just speaking of Resident Evil like that, but.
So yes, the thing is, like, I didn't have the PlayStation, so I started playing with Lorenzo. But then I received for my birthday, actually. I was in middle school. I received the PC version, which Lorenzo also, together with some mates of mine, gave for my birthday. And then when I played that, it was like just like unlocking every single thing. I mean, I could play like eyes shut.
All right, yeah.
Speed runs and all. You know what? I was in a real crisis when I had to pick up my game, because I could have easily picked up any of the games you guys picked up. And by all means, this is not my favorite game of the time. I just picked this game because I actually told a lie before. The first 2 games that I received on Christmas were Tekken 3 and Tomb Raider 3. So Tomb Raider 3 was the first of the Tomb Raiders that I played. In hindsight, I much preferred Tomb Raider 2 and 1, but I had to pick Tomb Raider 3 just because I think it's the only Tomb Raider that really brings me back to that trip down memory lane where you have the PlayStation, that grey little magic box. You pop that CD in, you press that on button, and you see that cinematic kind of like. Do you remember the little like? Was it like? Wasn't a square? It was like.
Still gives me a boner.
Exactly. Right. And then I was playing Tomb Raider 3. Yeah, I mean, once again, it's not my favorite Tomb Raider, but I don't know. It kind of like initiated me to that kind of game, right? That's probably why I like Uncharted so much, and why I still like, of course, the Tomb Raider saga. It was a surprisingly difficult game. I played it to show this footage. I played it yesterday and this morning as well. And I cursed so much. Like, to basically shoot a 10 minutes footage of this, I had to play probably 2 hours. Like,
yeah, I agree. I tried it as well. It was incredibly difficult. But Lara still has her charm, I have to say.
Lara still has her charm.
the same effect that had when I was 12, I have to say.
Yeah.
And I will end it here.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking about speaking about Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Did you guys manage to? I mean, there was a legend, I think, to have like Lara nude, let's say, for what nude could mean with that graphic. But still,
that was a pile of crap. It wasn't true. It was an urban legend.
An urban legend.
It was an urban legend. There was a patch for the PC, as far as I know. As far as I know.
A friend of mine told.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I loved the game back then. And then I loved Tomb Raider 2 more, but I loved the fact that, you know, the scenarios, like you were in India, I think at some point you were in the South Pacific, you were in Antarctica and Nevada, Area 51. So Area
51, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, you know why I'm laughing, Danny, whenever I think of Area 51.
Yeah, of course, let's keep that joke up aside.
Keep the joke about Area 51. No, actually, let's tell the joke about Area 51, shall we?
At this point.
without any names. Whenever we think of Area 51, we laugh because there was
You're killing monkeys there. Okay.
Yeah.
But monkeys were aggressive
aggressive motherfuckers. Whenever we think of Area 51, me and Daniele, there's a memory of a childhood that there was a friend of us who claimed that it wasn't his granddad. Yeah, it was his granddad.
Grandpa, yeah.
Went to Area 51 and survived in Area 51 with when was it in the air ducts of the Area 51 secret base for like a month, surviving only on a piece of bread.
Exactly, and a cup of water. Yeah, we all believed him, of course. Until we turned 25, and then we started questioning him. But speaking of Tomb Raider, yeah, I mean, it was a very funny game. Yeah, very difficult though. I mean, I remember being super frustrated because you couldn't. You had to jump exactly at that moment and grab the rope exactly at that moment, and then frustrating, but very challenging, and also the environment and the setup of the games were all like very, very, very cool. And let's not forget, because you cannot speak about Tomb Raider without speaking about Lara Croft's house.
That's very true.
The butler. And the butler.
That's very true.
And the bathroom, exactly, the bathroom.
Which we all closed in, locked in the fridge. We all did that.
Thank you.
Multiple times a day in every iteration of Tomb Raider. Well, Tomb Raider 2 and 3, I think it was the house with the butler lockable in the fridge. By the way, the graphic is so bad I can hardly make out where things are or where there are bends or cave entrances. Yes.
I remember that. I remember that being my biggest problem. I could never make it.
Yeah. But love it.
Well, I love it. But it's exactly what Daniele was saying. The graphic was not particularly fundamental for fighting games, as in you can still play them nowadays. They still aged okay, I would say. Mm-hmm. In the same way, I would say it was crucial for this kind of games. You can really tell this kind of games. I don't think they aged really well nowadays. Sorry if I'm gonna crash now with the game you just.
No. You're right. Tomb Raider. Well, Tomb Raider 3 wasn't the best of the Tomb Raiders anyway, and it really didn't age well. I mean, Tomb Raider 2, I actually want to replay again, but this one. I mean, maybe I will replay it again just for the sake of it, to completion, but I make you right, it did not age well, and it's very difficult to actually tell where things are, especially with these kind of monitors that we have nowadays, and screens that we have nowadays.
I have to make a comment here. I think that the Resident Evil design choice, let's say, was perfect, and this is the reason why the game aged well, because they preferred to put like pre-rendered backgrounds. 2D pre-rendered backgrounds with good graphic. I mean, they were just like pictures. But on the other side, Tomb Raider and these kind of games prefer, like also Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, whatever. They prefer to actually use like the polygon and not just 2D. Yeah. And of course, you have to come to a trade-off where the rest of graphic is very poor.
Yeah.
Resident Evil made that's why Resident Evil games aged quite well, I would say.
I agree. And it's the same choice. It's the same choice of Final Fantasy 7 and 8, by the way. Pre-rendered 2D backgrounds, only 3D models of the characters. It's still playable.
Very true. Very, very true. You know what is? I make you right. Some games manage a little bit better than others. I think Crash was a little bit better than Tomb Raider in that sense, aged a little bit better. But by the same token, levels were a lot smaller. There were lots of less assets as well. So probably that's why they could push the graphics a little bit more. Also, Crash came towards the end of the generation, whereas Tomb Raider was. I think it wasn't at the beginning, but kind of like mid-cycle. But yeah, look, it was a very difficult choice because, as I said, I love that generation. I love the PlayStation 1, and whenever I'm thinking back to the PlayStation 1, there's tons of different games. Like, Gran Turismo, if you're talking about car racing, I used to dig that. Driver, do you guys remember Driver?
Yeah.
That was, oh my god, I spent hours playing that game. Of course, we mentioned it before, Tony Hawk was a great game. And
GTA. The first GTA.
GTA. The one where you look above the...
exactly, there was
Does any of you remember a game called Parasite Eve?
Yeah, I do, actually. And there was a very hot woman, if I remember correctly, as main character. That's my only memory of it.
It was a great game from Capcom.
She's called Eve, by the way,
Yeah, it was a great game from Capcom, by the way, that was kind of like Resident Evil style. It was more... Wait, was it from Capcom? Bloody hell, let me check, because now I'm doubting myself, and it was maybe Square Enix. Let's have a look. Parasite Eve. But anyway, that game, I wish they could remake it.
Maybe they'll watch this podcast and think.
No, it was Square. It wasn't Capcom. It was Square Enix.
And it makes sense because there were some RPGs elements.
Yeah, it was an RPG game. That's when I realized it was Square Enix. Because I was about to say it was like kind of Resident Evil, but hang on a second, it was actually RPG. So then
it was a Resident Evil-ish RPG. Yeah. It was a cool game, actually.
It was a real cool game.
Yeah. I said something negative about Tomb Raider, so it didn't age well. On the other hand, I was considering... it made really a lot for feminism, I'm gonna say. I cannot quite think of a female main character before Lara Croft. She made, in my young head, she made normal the idea that a girl or a woman could also be the main character of a video game, because until that point, it's Mario. It's as masculine as it gets. I guess Mario mustache.
I've got a feeling I cannot, for the life of me, remember the title, but I'm sure there was another game, Super Nintendo era.
Well, there was Metroid. Metroid. But the deal with Metroid is that spoiler alert, sorry, but again, it's 25 years. You discovered only at the end that she was... what's the name? Sheamus. Yeah, that she's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
A great plot twist, by the way. Great plot twist.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, no, that's very true. Very, very true with Tomb Raider, actually. And now it's the norm having a female protagonist.
Yeah.
Thinking of Aloy, just to name one.
Yeah.
Control, Jesse in Control. Yeah.
Probably The Last of Us 2 as well.
The Last of Us 2, yeah. We'll have Ellie.
Female-led. Yeah.
Badass characters. And that was our throwback for May, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, we'd love to read your opinions and comments about the PlayStation 1. What was your favorite game and why? We will be live here on YouTube as well as Twitch on Thursday, 21st of May. We'll be talking about our favorite games that you can play for free. So tune in at 6 p.m. UK time. Wishing you a fantastic week and see you Thursday.